Hi, my name is MATOME MBATHA. I'm the market manager for Africa at Wines of South Africa. Wines of South Africa, the industry export marketing body with a head office in Stellenbosch. We have an office in other parts of the world, an office in New York, an office in London. We have an office in China as well, and we also have a long-standing relationship of agencies we work with in the European market. We also, obviously, in the African continent do extensively well. We have stakeholders and agencies we work with in East Africa as well as West Africa. So pretty much Wines of South Africa's role is about promoting brand South Africa in the wine space, and we focus primarily on exports. I think over the years, if I were to say, it's fascinating for South Africa to be actively involved in the continent solely because traditionally it's been in the past that European markets have been the focus markets, USA and Canada amongst others, and in the last 10 years Wines of South Africa has been committed to growing the presence of the South African wines in the markets. And fortunately for us, a market such as Kenya has been very significant. As a matter of fact, it is our #1 key export market. It's a market in which we've seen over the years growth develop and primarily dominated by South African wines, and it's a market in which we're very proud of because we have not just seen growth in volumes, but it's also growth in value, which means, easily said, it is a market where we've seen appreciation of premium quality South African wine.
All right, so what's the main goal for WOSA?
WOSA's goal is primarily just to position brand South Africa as the premium wine producing region in the world. We are indeed a premium wine producing region in the world, and overall we play a bigger role beyond just exports. We are actually involved in upskilling people in the countries that we're active in through educational programs. We run courses in which we engage and kind of educate people about wine. Subsequently, with the view of that, they then can do what we call advanced courses in which they could look into the career path, amongst other things, becoming sommeliers, consultants in wines. So basically, we are about ensuring that the product wine gets served in a way in which it should be served, but secondly, it gets served to the people with the value proposition. In the global space, I think South Africa is doing extremely well. We have a very diverse environment in which wine is produced. And then that on its own just speaks volumes in terms of that the world sees us as one of the premium producing region. If I really were to scale it, I mean at production level, we are number 7, 6, depending on how much actually production is per year, but in volumes. But in terms of quality, I'm convinced we are #1 in essence. The finest experience in which wine is produced in the Western Cape, in the different, diverse environments, soil textures, and a whole lot of things that influence the quality of wine, as well the expertise of our winemakers over the years that has so well advanced. So I would confidently say South Africa is a leader in diversity. First of all, we partner strongly with stakeholders across the board. We partner with trade, I'm talking importers, distributors, wholesalers, in ensuring that they have access to wine through exposing and introducing many different brands. But most important for us is this platform we're at now, media partnership. I think it's critical because through media partnership we're able to access the consumers by ensuring that we communicate strongly the messaging of wine, but also, relations with the likes of government, which has stakeholders, and generally being there in the market and talking about wine, ensuring that people understand and appreciate it for what it is. I think over the years, the one thing that Kenyans have proved to be really advancing in is appreciating the different varietals, meaning differentiating one varietal to other and showcasing and actually expressing and showing interest in certain varietals. The likes of Sauvignon Blanc, I think, is the most favored varietal, but also there's reds which have actually shown very well. And Kenyans, one thing about them, they are exploratory, they explore themselves and advance their knowledge. So there's the trends is along the lines of having the communicate and communicating and openly exchanging experiences about wine. It is but the only country other than South Africa where there's a rollout of the WSET program, an advancement training program. And you'll be surprised that it's not those who work in the industry that wants to advance themselves because they want to, get a better job, but general consumers, because they want to be knowledgeable and they want to be able to interact and engage about wine at different levels. Oh, without doubt, that's one area that is also a highlight, because as you've seen, as you are here on a tour, is that it's not just about the drink wine. It's about the experience of where it's made, who makes the wine, and visiting very beautiful places within the wine lands. So tourism in the wine space is huge. There's accommodation, staying at beautiful places within the winelands, seeing the actual vines being planted, experiencing the harvest. I believe the other day you guys had an experience of being able to do the punch down in a cellar. So those are experiences in which enhance the product wine through tourism, because people come in and want to actually have the same experiences you had. No different, obviously, even better still that we have seen that there is now the uplifting of the visa into South Africa for Kenyans, which then automatically means that there'll be more Kenyans coming in. Likewise, South Africans will be better as they engage with the Kenyans, learn about Kenya. In exchange, we will see many South Africans also go visit to enhance the Kenyan tourism experience. The Kenya also has so much to offer. Your tea experience, and I think this is one other thing that going forward, exchanging of experiences. How best can Kenya also position, for example, the tea plantations to also be a tourist sort of destination, and good experiences of showcasing different types of teas. So because we also already have that showcasing in the winelands, I think there's an opportunity to collaborate in that space. Brilliant. I think as much as obviously we are exporting wine into Kenya, there is consumption of wines by South Africans, so appreciating the actual wine. So the same exercise that we're conducting in Kenya, it's the same exercise that is needed and is being conducted by different wineries of demystifying wine, make it accessible. So automatically what we find is that consumers appreciate, and they do come to the Western Cape for a tour in the winelands because they are keen and curious. We come from a background of wine, of beer and spirit drinking, consumers. But now wine is becoming fashionable, and then it presents opportunities, rightfully as I say. It's not just about it being in the Western Cape. This Western Cape experience plugs into other markets within South Africa, as in provinces. Also, consumers come and visit the Western Cape. One way or the other, these are experiences in which we also seeing many wine producers take wine festivals to other provinces within South Africa to advance the cause of interest in wine as well. To start off with, wine is accessible as a drink. Do not be fooled by a sense of thinking that that snobbish approach of swelling, slapping and spitting should actually deter you from wanting to explore wine. Try as many wines as you can, because that would help you to appreciate it. But also very critical is that while we do that, we also push the agenda of that people should consume alcohol responsibly. There are certain regulations that need to be followed. We need to adhere to that, because then it means we'll be shooting ourselves in the foot if we don't take care of that area. People should know that wine should not be a drink that needs to be abused or destructive. It must be a builder of sort, because through wine, it being a so-called liquid lubricant, it means we can engage and talk and have a conversation over a glass of wine and be decent like that. So it's very critical that we push the most important message. I think even for the Kenyans, do drink responsibly.
Thank you. For just right, what's next for WOSA?
So indeed, what we do as we annually do our event in Kenya, we have our wine event that is usually held in the month of May, and definitely we're coming back to Kenya. Look out for us. We look forward to have you join us to come and taste different wines that many other producers. And some new, some in the market will be showcasing at the event in Nairobi, and we often then do what we call the focus group tasting events in Mombasa. Mombasa is also another interesting area in terms of growth. We're seeing opportunities in that space. So be on the lookout. We'll be seeing you in May.